Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day today. Today's video, I'm going to go over understanding Bitcoin from the very basics. And I think for someone to really gain a full understanding of Bitcoin itself, you need to look at the history of money and ledger-based economics as a whole. So I'm going to start from this, and some of these things might not make sense to you at first, but I plan on putting out later videos to hopefully give you more information on the stuff that you're kind of iffy about at the moment. But this is just real basic stuff. So, the history of money and ledger-based economics. Centralized ledgers are what most people are familiar with, and they are controlled by a single entity. This is something like the bank that you are using. So your bank statement is ledger-based. The bank that you choose has control over your accounts. You technically do not have physical control over your accounts. Your bank could theoretically take your money away, while this is not likely. They also might not allow withdrawals for any certain reasons. An example of this might be in Cyprus in the year 2013, with the economic meltdown in that area. People were rushing to their bank accounts and they weren't able to take their money out of the bank because, as you may know, banks do not actually hold all the fiat that they say they have. So if everyone tries to go and rush and take their money out, it's just not possible because the bank does not have that physical cash. Another disadvantage of these centralized ledgers is that a bank can shut down. Although this is highly unlikely here in the United States, it actually is very likely to happen in other countries around the world. So the characteristics of centralized ledgers. They are internal and external reconciliation that is required. There's no restrictions imposed. There's always a single point of failure. There is a single point of control, and there is many unnecessary middlemen. Cryptography must be added on and is not hardwired in. Actions are done on behalf of others, not for thyself. And backups must be set up manually. So next we'll go over the functions of a currency. So there are three key purposes of any currency. It must, one, be a medium of exchange. Two, it must be a store of value. And three, it must be a unit of account. If a currency does not meet these three functions, then it is not a successful currency. So the first function, a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange makes transactions happen. You would give your money over for some type of products or service, and this eliminates the need for a barter system. With a barter system, you'd trade an object for another object, but many times this is hard to do. You might not be able to trade something straight across in that way, so that's why you need to have a medium of exchange like a currency. The second function is a store of value. Currencies would not serve its purpose without storing its value. Also, to be a store of value, currency needs to be accepted at many places. Third is the unit of account. This means that you know the amount that will be required for a specific product or service, and it is a common unit of account. So next we'll go over distributed consensus. And this is what the Bitcoin blockchain utilizes. So consensus definition is a collective decision-making process between many people over what is right and wrong. In the case of Bitcoin, this is done by computers. It includes various computers connected to the network called nodes. These nodes then come to an agreement on something like a transaction that is being completed on the Bitcoin blockchain. This involves complex scientific methods. The process used by Bitcoin to solve the problem of distributed consensus is mining. And as I said, if you do not understand some of these things, don't worry, I'll be making more videos in the future. And any member of the network can choose to get involved in mining, but do not need to participate in mining to utilize the Bitcoin network. So you can utilize the network without being a participant in mining. People who do mine will be incentivized with newly created or mined Bitcoins. Bitcoin mining utilizes proof of work to make sure the network consensus is true and correct. So a little bit more about distributed consensus. Bitcoin's distributed consensus is dependent on the hash rate. This is the number of calculations performed by the network. If there is only a small amount of these calculations being performed, then the network is not very secure. If an attacker or hacker can gain 51% of the network, then they can initiate an attack on the blockchain. If a large number of calculations are being performed, then the network is very secure. As Bitcoin stands now, a 51% attack is almost impossible and would take so much processing power it would not even be profitable. You can find the Bitcoin current hash rate at this link here. At the current time, Bitcoin is the most secure network in the world by hash rate. So we're just going to go over this real quick. What are forks? Because many people might be confused with Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So a fork will occur in a blockchain when members of the network don't agree with the consensus of other members. This creates another new branch or new blockchain that will have different blocks and transactions. So like I said, this is how Bitcoin Cash was created, as well as Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. These are not Bitcoin itself, but forks of the Bitcoin protocol. That concludes this introduction to Bitcoin, and there's so much more to go over. And I mean, some of these things you might not understand, like the mining concept and the proof of work concept and things like that, but I'll create videos later on to go over those in greater detail. I hope everyone has gained a little bit of knowledge about centralized ledgers and decentralized consensus mechanisms, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.